Howdy, howdy, ho. Welcome to the Brinx, and Hearse podcast. My name is Ryan McNeill.
I'm Michael Frieri.
And today, something a little different for you. No sports, no movies.
No, not today.
We're here to give you a little advice. Now, we're both juniors in college.
Yes.
And the college experience is something that, there's lots of movies about high school. Lots of movies about the high school experience,
sure.
which it is an incredible time of growth and change.
Of course.
There's a lot of shocks and changes that come with college that I feel like don't really get discussed.
Yes.
Was that your experience, do you think? That there were a lot of things that it's a seismic shift that people don't really, that you know is coming, but it still kind of can hit you.
I would say that actually, I think it's the movies, you know, how whenever it's like a senior in high school movie and it ends with them going to college, they make it like this really big, like, ending conclusion.
It's like this looming thing, college.
Yes, which I would disagree. I think it's a little over dramatized in the movie industry, I would say.
Really?
To an extent.
Okay.
I mean, coming into college, not knowing anything about college, that's what it felt like, for sure.
Okay.
But now that I'm here, it's like...
It just happened.
Yeah, not that big of a deal.
Yeah. You're fully prepared for it.
Yeah.
So we're going to go through some of the surprises that we kind of felt like when we got to college. And those are some of the advice. This is advice for people who may be going to esteemed or not so esteemed university in the near future. This is a video for you people.
Why'd you even say that?
Hey, some people ain't going to an esteemed university. I'll tell you that much.
Just say if you're going to... Whatever, let's go.
So we go to Sacred Heart University.
Yes.
They say Fairfield, Connecticut, but it's in Bridgeport.
Yes.
What were you looking for when you were touring colleges?
What was I looking for? Oh, jeez. I don't even know, because honestly, I didn't want to be at any of the college tours that I went to. I really had no idea what I was looking for, no desire. I guess I was just looking to see if I would actually like something that I went to, you know? And, you know, my sister toured Sacred Heart when she was looking, and my parents went with her, obviously, and they said, oh, you know, they could really see Mikey going here, and I came here, and you know, it was really one of the very few that I actually wouldn't mind going to.
Wow, what an endorsement!
So no. I hold this place in high regard. Say.
Oh, okay. But did the tour hook you?
Yes.
Say that or
it definitely. I will say it's. I think one of either the first or the only tours where I'm like, let me go to the bookstore and get a sweatshirt after this.
Oh, okay. That means something.
Yeah.
That means something. Did you get an ice cream sandwich at the end of the tour?
No, I did not.
You didn't?
No.
They were handing them out when we finished our tour.
Didn't get an ice cream sandwich.
Wow. You missed out.
I can use one right now.
You could use one right now?
It's a balming 80 degrees. It's beautiful. We're both in shorts, ladies and gentlemen.
We are both in shorts. Sneak peek. There we are.
And I will say, the nice warm weather really boosts the college experience.
I agree. Yes. You come in and you have maybe a few weeks of warm weather.
Yeah.
That's about it. And already, like, fall's started when you get here.
Mm-hmm.
But then all of April is pretty much warm.
Yeah.
And it expedites the process, I feel. Mm-hmm. But when I toured here, I knew I didn't want a big school, for one thing.
No, me neither.
And the idea of, like, when they do show college and movies, it's always giant lecture halls.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I knew I didn't want.
No.
And I came here and saw smaller class sizes. They said the largest going to be is like 25. I was I can do that. And I've had classes with 8-9 people in it too. How many people are winning our capstone last semester?
Oh, I don't know, maybe like 15, I'd say. But my physics class last semester was 7 people, which you're technically not supposed to have a class if it's that small. But we did anyways. I don't know why. Yeah. But yeah.
And as you get older too, and well, just like as you get junior, senior year, it's mostly just your major classes. So it's the same 10 people in every single class.
Well, I think that liberal arts schools are the ones where you have to go through all these like foundational core stuff. Everything else, you kind of just jump right in.
Yeah. And I remember my cousin, she visited last semester, and I told her, like, this is honestly a good school, like, if you don't really know what you want to do.
Yeah.
Because I do think there's, like, adequate programs in a number of different fields. Mm-hmm. Because how would you speak to the computer science program?
Go somewhere else. Go somewhere else.
You don't feel like they've given you the tools to succeed?
No, no.
Well, okay.
Unfortunately, no.
Okay, wow.
But you know, I don't even. I can't. I don't know if I can't really confidently say that because I feel like also it could just depend on. Like if I go to another school, I feel like maybe it's the same deal. But from what I've heard, it's not.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Is this a comfortable distance for you? You're about an hour away.
Oh yes, very comfortable. So I was looking. I think like 3 hours was the max for me because, you know, I barely even like to vacation. So why would I want to go somewhere that's far, like too far away where I'm really not going home until like the holidays? And you know, an hour was definitely. It was good. It was the perfect balance of like, I feel like I can stay here and have that like college experience of living away, but also have that option to go back home when I wanted to.
The accessibility of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm 2 hours away, so I'm kind of in the same boat where I think my furthest was probably however far Syracuse is. I don't know, 5 hours maybe.
Oh, I don't even know.
But that was my furthest one, and I knew I didn't want to go super far. But it was just as much of a worry. I didn't want to go too close because one school I almost went to was Bryant University, which is about 15 minutes away.
Oh, okay.
If I was in college and going to the same supermarket, the same movie theater, that would feel so weird.
Would
to
you
me.
commute if you went there or no?
Probably, yeah. Just because convenience sake, but still,
Yeah.
I always wanted to live on campus wherever I was going. So if there was a scenario where I had to commute, I would not have preferred it if that was the scenario.
So I went in looking at colleges like, if I really had my way, I would commute, you know? But I'm glad I didn't.
Okay.
So I think that's a positive, you know? I didn't really want to go far. I didn't want to commute. I didn't want like big change. But all the change was enough, and I'm happy I did so.
I remember your parents saying that you wanted to commute, but they were like, "Oh, you should live there." So
Yeah.
you found the compromise of going home on the weekends, but still living here. So you still get the college feel. You're still on campus.
Yeah, and I think living away is like a good chance for you to like grow because you know
definitely
you're on your own, and I guess there's like a kind of like instinct that like kicks in when your parents aren't around. They're not really doing much, and you kind of have to do everything for yourself, and
you got to problem solve.
yeah, you gotta do laundry. You gotta actually plan out your meals if you like, because in my house my mom cooks dinner basically every day of the week.
Yeah.
So I had to figure out when I want to eat, what I want to eat, stuff like that.
And you're either learning to cook and bake and make your own food, or almost just as valuable, when you have all your dining dollars, you're learning how to budget.
Yeah,
That and everything.
That's
so
a good point.
You get a different number of skills with everything. And just your school planning, it's all on you. You have no guidance counselor or parent telling you to do this work. What did you get on this test or quiz? It's so much more weight just on yourself.
Yeah, because I could very well just wake up and be like, I don't want to go to class, you know?
Yeah.
You kind of develop your own accountability, you know, and your own responsibility, and also, but the freedom of it all feels great. But it feels even better to have all this freedom and say, I'm going to do what I came here to actually do, you know?
You can't let the freedom go to your head.
No.
Yeah. So let's run through some of the surprises we got when we went to college.
Okay.
To prepare the younger generation.
Yeah.
I did not know there were midterms in college. Did you?
Yes, I did.
I had no idea. It was first semester freshman year. One of my professors said, like, all right, we're going to have midterms next week. And I FaceTimed my brother. I said, I had no idea that there were midterms in college. And he said, yes, there are.
Yeah, well.
Which I think is stupid, too. Because we have the class for 3.5 months.
I agree. I think because once we hit midterms, it's like we didn't even learn anything. Like, what are we doing?
Yes, I've always had that feeling because when are they? Like the last week of October, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For this, it's like mid-March, I think.
Okay,
Spring semester.
Okay, yeah. So regardless, you've had like 7 weeks with them. Most of my classes, we only meet once a week just because of my major. So a lot of times I've only seen them like 7 times. Even if it's just 7 weeks of content, you probably miss 1 or 2 here or there. I always felt like I didn't learn much. And in 5 weeks, I'm going to have to start getting ready for the final.
Yeah.
I've just never understood why midterms. I get it, it's like a good barometer like to have in the middle, but still. But yeah, that was one of my surprises.
I will say one of my surprises was I have a couple, but
Go for it.
I think first of all, the just the school feel of like actually like you're doing your assignments and such. Not too far off from high school actually, which I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it was going to be much more like quicker pace, stuff like that. But you know, I learned how to learn in high school.
Yeah.
And other and middle school, whatever. So I wasn't as intimidated as I thought I was going to be. And I think that's why like people really knock on the foundational core stuff. But I thought it was a good way to kind of like introduce me like into just knowing how to go to school at college.
Yeah.
You know.
And especially here at Ticket Heart, you don't make your schedule your first semester.
Yeah.
It's all just your foundational stuff that they give to you, which is annoying, but it does do a good job of easing you into college, like you said.
Yes, it's a great way to just
yeah,
get you warmed up.
yeah.
Get the ball
In
rolling.
my first 5 courses I had first semester freshman year, there was an English one, there was a history one, there was a math one, so it just felt like more high school again.
Yeah, it just felt like the 13th grade. That's
Yeah,
how I usually say it.
Exactly. That's a very good way to put it. So, yeah.
And another surprise, I will say, college is so much easier than high school.
It kind of is.
It's like
It kind of is, people.
because one, hopefully you're in a major that you actually are interested in, so
Yeah.
you want to learn this stuff, so you're gonna have an easier time with the classes.
Yeah, and I do not. I feel bad for people who reach a point where they have to change their majors, because I couldn't even fathom how
Yeah.
much I plan ahead and work towards. Oh, I'm going to do this and that, and then having to change the whole plan again. But still, I definitely understand what you're saying. That
Well,
if you love your major, it becomes even easier.
yes. When I came in, I was supposed to become communications and with a track in podcasting, actually.
Yes,
Fun
I know.
fact.
I know.
And then I was like, I kind of just want to keep that as a hobby. This was only the first semester and then I changed during the first semester. So all my changes were nothing too drastic, you know. I was just doing my foundational core the first semester. Then I was like, I want to do computer engineering. So then my next semester, mostly foundational core, but one intro to like engineering, stuff like that.
When did you declare?
I think going into sophomore year.
Okay. Yeah.
So the spring semester of freshman. They said because I had
Oh, I see. Okay.
I had like a semester. I was a semester ahead of everyone from all my credits in high school. They're like, just declare now.
Oh, okay.
Because even if you it doesn't matter if you declare, if you know what you're doing, because then you can just switch. But all my switches, I was computer engineering, then I went to computer science, which is a lot of overlap. So it wasn't again that big of a deal.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where I'm at.
And the foundational and LAE are like the required course you have to take. And both of them take up so much of your freshman year that you pretty much don't have to know what your major is going to be your entire first year, pretty much.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I wanted my major to be. And I told my advisor first semester when we met, I said, oh, my major. He was like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We'll get there when we get there. And then second semester, freshman year, I asked him, so the major, if I do. He's like, don't worry about it. We'll get there when we get there. And then first semester, sophomore year came, and we met to go over my schedule. And he went, Ryan, I noticed you haven't declared a major yet. I nearly strangled a man through Zoom. I was so mad. But he gave me the paperwork, and declaring was very easy, too.
Oh, dude.
It's just a sheet and an email that you send to somebody.
Exactly. And it's like, well, yeah, you're now a major.
And you could just change it, too. You just
Yeah.
fill out another sheet, really.
Oh, yeah. Changing is super easy as well. It's just literally the same process. You fill out the paper, they hand it in, and they said, all right, there you go.
Yeah.
That's really it.
Another surprise that was a scheduling thing was, and it's not really a surprise, it's just something kind of annoying, was you go home for Thanksgiving. Us that are close enough, you come home for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And then you come back for like 10 days before you
Oh,
leave for
my
Christmas.
God. I
It's
forgot
so
about this.
annoying.
Yeah, well, our first year was 2020.
Yeah.
And, 2020. Yeah, 2020.
Yeah. It was November 6th or 7th, I think, when we moved fully online.
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
plan to begin with was you go home Thanksgiving and you stay home.
Yeah, and
Anyway,
then you just
so-
take your classes online and you finish up there, which sounded amazing.
Yeah.
It sounded perfect because, like, why do I need to come back after Thanksgiving and 10 days of final? Like, I don't know.
And that's what it was for our sophomore year, because we came back on Sunday, the Sunday after Thanksgiving. And then the last day of classes was the next Monday. I know in-person finals. I came back for 8 days, and then I went right back home.
Yeah.
It was so useless. I have proposed, and even this year, it was 2 weeks, I think. Like 2 weeks of classes,
Yeah, I think
at
so.
least.
I think so.
Still kind of annoying. I proposed I would start August 17th. I would be fine starting mid-August, and then when I go home for Thanksgiving, I'm home for 2 full months.
Yeah, well, there's like schools that I know that like will start like a couple weeks or 2 weeks after us.
I know a lot of places,
and they're there forever. It feels like.
Yeah.
Like we're out for the summer, and like they're still going for like 2-3 weeks.
I know UMass Amherst right now. They started their first day class was February 6th, and they are in classes till May 17th, and then their finals go to May 25th.
Yeah.
That's like the whole idea of summer is you get 4 months.
Yeah.
In college, that's like a whole less month of summer right there.
Yeah, my dad always said, you work your ass for 4 months, then you take a big break for 2 months is a month and a half for winter. But then you work your ass for 4 months, and you got a big break.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. The wise words of Franco Frieri.
Francesco.
Another thing college are just kind of unprepared for. You get credit for showing up,
Yeah.
which is such a radical change from high school. Well, you obviously you have to show up in high school and everything.
And participate.
And all this stuff. But you can show up to 50% of the classes in college sometimes and pass the class.
Yeah, yeah.
There are times where if you just show up, if you do not participate, if you don't do the work very well, you can still get a B plus, an A, because just showing up is that much of your grade.
Yeah, there's like a couple classes that I have to take. They're called like exploration classes. They're like just intros and stuff. And it's 1 credit, obviously, but you literally are only graded on your attendance. So if you show up all the time, you get an A.
Yeah, my contemporary sports broadcast it's a valuable course. They teach us stuff, but we're not really quizzing anything. We just have to write some stuff like weekly. It's pretty much just show up.
But you can also, like, even if that's not the case, like you actually have grades in a class, but like say the professor does not care about attendance, you can very well just go home. They're going to post the lectures on like the blackboard.
Yeah.
And then I see guys that do not come to class whatsoever, and then test day comes, and there's like a kid that I've never seen before just sitting there. You know, like people just going for tests.
And sometimes they're fine. They know the work. They know the material. It doesn't matter. Yeah. I do advise go to class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get out, something to do.
Yeah. I do hate it when people skip for nothing just because they don't want to go. It's like, you might as well.
Yeah.
And like you said, the change from high school, and you said it's much easier. There is so much more time in college, especially right away. Because I look back at high school now. I was going to school 6 hours a day, 5 days a week, and then working 7 hours on Sunday, working 7 hours on Saturday. And like it seems impossible now in college where
I know.
I have like if I have 2 classes that take up from 11 a.m. to 3:30, I'm like my day's booked. I have what am I supposed to do before or after? When that's nothing compared to what I was doing for 4 years in high school. It's insane.
Yeah, I feel like because also you're in high school, unless you have like a rotation schedule, but even if you do, you're seeing like 5, 6, I don't know, 7, 8 classes a day.
I think we had 7.
Yeah, 7. I think it was. I don't remember it. 7. You're seeing 7 different classes a day. Maybe you'll see 3 in a day of the week here.
Yeah. If your schedule is bad, honestly, like usually you try to spread it out so you don't have to do 3 a day. But yeah, at the most you're gonna have 3 in a single day. I've only had that one time first semester freshman year when they made the schedule for me. I had to have 3 classes in a row, and I did it. And at the end of those, I'd be like, man, my brain is fried. Like, it's just so much work, all this crap in a row. In high school, I had 7 in a row of those from 7 a.m. in the morning until 2:15.
But it's also because, like, in high school, like 55-minute periods we had? Now we're sitting there for, like, hour 15 is going to be the least. Yeah. If you get a big block, that's, like, can be 2 hours, 45 minutes. Although professors do never go that long.
Yeah, they pretty much never go the full 2:45.
It's only one day of the week.
Yeah, so if the professors I have had that do go the full 2:45, I'm like, I meet them once. Like, I can live with it. And a lot of times it was my only class of the day, too. So I was like, go as long as you want. It doesn't matter too much to me. And so it is almost intimidating to have all this time on your hands. And a lot of people, I guess one of the first pieces of advice is don't spread yourself too thin. Because a lot of people see this time and think, oh, I'm going to join this club, get involved with this, that, and the other. that all of a sudden their time disappears. And because I know people who have so much stuff going on that I don't know when they have time to actually do their classwork. And even if their classwork isn't difficult, they still need time to do it.
Yeah, I mean, to be quite honest, today I have a physics test tomorrow that I have to study for, but I worked 6 hours today. I'm doing this for 2 hours, and I'm going to the gym right after this. So I mean, I was studying here and there, but I got a little too much to do today.
A little too much.
I could very well say, hey, I don't want to go to the gym, but I don't know, it's just something fun to do.
The Iron City is calling you.
Pump City.
Pump City. Do you think second semester goes by quicker? I have always felt it does.
I think so, because like the weather starts to warm up, so like you don't care.
Yeah.
You don't, Also, it's also split up very nicely. We have like I think we have, what is it, Columbus Day off or MLK?
Yeah.
Well, we start with MLK off.
Oh,
then
in January,
the Tuesday
yeah.
after is the first day of class. And
Yeah.
Then is Columbus Day or is
No,
Columbus
that's in October.
Day? Okay, there's some other day.
I don't know. Maybe there's like a President's Day or something.
Something.
February.
So we have another Monday off, I think. And then we have spring break, which is a whole week in March. And then we have, depending on where Easter is, we have Friday and the Monday off for Easter. Well, so spring break, and then 4 weeks, then you have Easter break, then you have 4 weeks, then you're done.
Yeah. So yeah.
So that's where we're at. This is the week after Easter break, so we have 4 more weeks.
Yeah. It's 3 basically, I think.
Yeah. Well, depending on
Oh yeah. Finals
schedule.
week. Yeah, counts as a 4th week pretty much.
I always get fucked over for finals.
Yeah, you do. And yeah, so spring semester, it like starts off with a big chunk, then spring break, and then little chunk.
Yeah.
So I do feel like that one goes by so much quicker. And maybe it's because, I don't know, it's almost kind of annoying sometimes with the fall semester. Like we said, the Thanksgiving is so annoying to go and come back. I feel like that drags it out even longer a little bit.
Yeah.
But we do have the Columbus Day break in October. We have the Monday off, and then they also give us the Tuesday, which is nice.
Oh,
So
yes.
that's a little built-in break.
Yeah, there was something like that during this week. We have whatever day it was, the Monday off, and then the faculty day on Tuesday. I forget what it was.
I can't remember what it was. Do you like the food at Sacred Heart University?
That's another thing I was surprised about. The food was solid. You always hear like dining hall terror stories or whatever, and
Yeah.
I think you can go anywhere around here and get something decent.
I agree. I'm not saying everything's good. I'm not saying everything is safe.
There's
But I agree that JP's, I can get something solid every day, I know.
JP's,
Linda's, there's multiple places where I can get a good meal. Can it be a little repetitive, the same stuff? Yes.
That was one of my problems that I had. It got so, the food is good, but it got so repetitive where I just don't want to eat it anymore. And, I don't really have that many options unless I want to go to 63, which is the worst place on campus. Quality-wise, but variety-wise is the best.
That's our buffet style. You're always going to get something different, which sometimes it's the Jamaican beef patty, which is delicious.
Oh, yes, that is good.
Other time it's a tofu taco or something crazy. The yogurt, though, we agree on.
The yogurt is
divine.
Flows like fucking water, man. That shit's so good.
And they also have a soft serve ice cream machine.
I've never tried that.
You never had? Oh, so good.
Yeah, so we have, just in case, we have 63s, which is our buffet. Then we have 3 places, if you count the one on West, that are like retail food, more so. Like you have a Boar's Head, you have like a burger place, whatever, here and there. And then we also have a diner on campus, which is pretty cool, but I don't really eat there that often because it's, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, they got the Reuben sandwich.
Yeah, they're okay. I mean, their stuff is hit or miss there.
Okay, that's fair.
I think the best place is West Campus.
Oh, yeah. Joyce Campus just opened up this year. Is solid from the couple things I've had there.
And it's just so convenient because I'm always on West Campus because that's the technology.
They needed a dining hall there.
Yeah.
Because before it was just a little cafe where you could get a grilled cheese or something.
And it's just like a microwavable sandwich or whatever. And they just throw it in the toaster and they give it to you.
Yeah. Freshman year, do you think it was kind of weird or do you almost feel uncomfortable when professors talk about other jobs? This is the first time where the educator, this isn't the one thing they do.
Oh, yeah. I mean, for the most part, my professors are all actual professors, they've been teaching all their lives.
Oh, okay, interesting.
But there will be 1 or 2 here where you get an adjunct professor, where I think one of the guys was, I'm a senior developer at Subway, the sandwich place, which I was like, damn, that's cool. But what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
Yeah, it's so weird because like in high school, I feel like if the teacher like, oh, I didn't grade those tests, it's like, come on, dude, like this is your one job, grade the tests. But now I've had professors who are like, oh yeah, I'm a videographer for a wedding this weekend, and then I'm working on like this movie set on Tuesday. Classes cancel Wednesday because I don't want to show up. People have so many other different commitments that it's kind of bizarre where you go from the teacher for the whole other upbringing, the teacher is all in. This is what they do. They're here to help you learn. And then there's people now who are like, this is just how I make some money on the side for the most part.
So I'll have like a professor who's like super, like he'll grade like a test the day we hand it in. Like, and it'll be like an anomaly when he takes like a couple days. Like me and Victor will text like, yo, is this guy like alive? And then there's another professor who is not an adjunct professor. He's like he's a professor. He he just doesn't grade though. We just this week got all of our grades from the start of class to midterms.
It's so annoying.
All handed in. I'm like, dude, like, come on. Because apparently he throws too much classes on his plate, but that's neither here nor there. So, whatever.
And I also felt like freshman year didn't really hit me because, like we said, it was our first year was 2021, 2022.
Yeah.
So we experienced high school come to an abrupt end. Fall semester came to an abrupt end. So when we came back for summer, it just kind of felt normal that we came back. But it didn't really hit me that it was early May. And summer was 4 months long now. No one ever tells you that summer is a full month and a half longer when you're in college. So I guess that's almost a piece of advice that you have so much more time to do stuff in the summer now. Whether it's a job, an internship, you know you have to like that job because it's a much longer commitment. But it's a lot nicer when you know you have 4 full months basically off to do whatever you want. And this is after showing up to class 4 days a week, one time each day. So you actually have so much more time in your hands to do other things. Relax, work on projects, whatever.
Yeah. In the summer, I almost get to the point where I'm like, okay, I think I want to go back now. Like, not that I want to go back, but like, I'm like, I have nothing to do.
That's the busyness of it.
Yeah.
We all like having stuff to do and
get a routine, stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's satisfying to work on something and learn things and get a good grade. It's a satisfying experience to be a student in some ways.
Yeah.
Not in all ways.
I agree.
Yeah. I have felt it as junior year came around, fall, junior year. That syllabus week, I was like, I'm still doing this?
Yeah, it's all the same thing.
It really started to hit me where I was like, all right, I'm kind of ready to get out of here.
Oh yeah, I think now more than ever, I'm like, I am done, dude. I don't want to keep going. Although, I got a whole other senior year, and then I got masters that I want to do. So
yeah,
I got a lot more school ahead.
Yeah, but it's not like just proper sit down schooling. It'll be more hands-on stuff.
Yeah, and it's more like you have a class like once here and there. I think.
Yeah, I know.
It's only 30 credits for masters.
Oh, okay, yeah. I know the program here, the master's program that a lot of the kids are in, it's just like 3 nights a week where they show up. So you can have like a full-time job and still be able to do this here. Now let's move on to some of the advice portion. You do have to think about money, unfortunately, when deciding a school, I feel. Because student loans is such a heavy debt to take on, regardless of what's going on, that was a decision I had to make where it was between here and Providence College.
Yeah.
And I really, all my life, I'd wanted to go to Providence College. But I was looking at it and I said, but they didn't give me a dime. And I was looking at it and said, well, PC or for half the price, Sacred Heart. I think I'm going to have to go with Sacred Heart here. So I'm not saying like, oh, you have to apply for financial aid and always go with the cheapest school. But unfortunately, that does have to be a factor in your decision making.
Yeah, but I think like also like people might forget that once you get like all your offers and stuff and like all your acceptances, you can like email the school and be like, hey, like this school gave me this amount of money. You're my top school. Can you match it or in some way?
Play hardball.
Yeah, it's not, it's not the offer isn't like the end all be all. So you can like kind of work around it. And I remember in COVID, like people got really lucky that like schools were just begging people to go. So they were just throwing so much money around, So I think, hopefully you got those grades up because honors gives a nice little healthy
yes, it does.
Scholarship.
Yes, they do. And on the honors program here, you get the best dorms your freshman year as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we were in Tucson Hall, which is a wonderful dorm. That and Bergoglio are the 2 nicest ones. And Crap, what was I thinking? Had something to do with financial aid and money.
Slip the mind.
It did just slip the mind. Oh, I was also thinking the honors go. They obviously give you that little cachet.
Yeah.
On the Shoe Awards website, where you accept your scholarship, you log it in and accept it. For my sophomore year, each semester it came up with I believe it was $1,500, the Farmers and Mechanics Scholarship. I do not know why I was granted the Farmers and Mechanics Scholarship. I am not a farmer nor a mechanic.
Wait, are you serious?
No, I'm serious, yeah.
You get this every year, $15?
No, it was just the 2 semesters sophomore year. It was $1,500 each semester.
That's weird.
I do not know why, but I gladly accepted. So thank you, Sacred Heart University.
Also, work studies. Although they're
Yeah. With all that time on your hands,
yeah,
you can find a job.
Do something. You get friends from work studies, but like we get $2,000 of work study. They don't necessarily go towards your tuition. They go in your pocket. You can choose what to do with that money. Yeah, but you only get $2,000 to make. So that year. So I remember eventually I had a work study, and then I was like, this is really like just stupid.
Yeah.
So eventually they emailed me saying, yeah, I've been looking for work study. We're not going to grant you any more money. So I'm like, that's fine. That's fine. I'm going to be a senior. I don't need a work study.
Yeah. Yeah, I had one where I tutored, and they just let me sit in one of the rooms in the main academic building, and if people came by, they came by. If they didn't, they didn't. I got paid regardless.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so you can find something easy. There's 4 people who work at the gym at all times.
Oh, the gym's the easiest job.
Who monitor when people swipe in and swipe out. That's all they do. There's 4 people.
They sit there and do nothing.
They do nothing. They don't say anything. If you can walk by without swiping your card, they're not going to stop you. Yeah. It's still the courtesy.
I feel bad for the people. I feel bad for the people who like got like the mailroom where they're actually like running around fetching mail. I'm like, dude.
There was a kid in my class freshman year who like right away was like, oh, I want to work. So let me get in the mailroom. And it's like, it's actual work. I see him. I remember freshman year just moving boxes and lifting things. I was like, you could be just sitting at the gym. You could just be, what are they called? SLAs or whatever. The teacher assistant people who they just... CLA. And most of the time they just stand there. Sometimes they take notes and they give the notes to the students or something. That was my only experience with them. So you can find easy jobs on campus. So that's where it's good to reach out, talk to people, figure out what the easy jobs are. Aside from the ones that are just in front of your face like that. And also the box office is an easy job. You get 1 person per hour who comes by and buys a ticket and you just print it out for them. Most of the time you're just sitting there.
I have no idea where the box office is.
It's in Edgerton.
There's so many things I just don't know about here.
I remember when you had to, a freshman year when we had to do mandatory COVID testing every week. One of them was in the parking garage. And you said, yo, man, where the fuck is the parking garage? And we were right by your desk, and I went, dude, we can see it from your window.
But how would I know? I didn't drive at school then.
It's right there. It's a small campus. You should know where the big old parking garage is.
All right. Oh. But it was just weird because it was a different location than it usually is. But anyways.
Okay, whatever. Another piece of advice, don't get too excited on tours. There are a lot of people who like fall in love with the school right away.
Oh, yeah.
There's lots of stuff they aren't showing you. There's lots of stuff at each school that is not on the tour for a reason. There's buildings you don't see, dorms you don't see. There's a reason you don't see those buildings or dorms. So
the tours make it like make the school very romantic.
Yeah. The next 4 years.
Like, oh my God, this could be me. I could totally see myself here. And then once you're here, you're like, this is just life. Like, it's not that big of a deal,
And just not every school is perfect. And also do not think, oh, nice dorms, good food, football field, awesome. Like, those are cool things, but, academics, Like, that will be a good 4-year experience for you.
Focus on what you care about.
If you know what you want to do, make sure you're going to a school with that program or options for you in terms of programs. Because there was one kid who I went to middle school with who we kind of, some people kept in touch with, I didn't really. And he went to Alabama and he toured Alabama. He's like, and somebody asked him, like, oh, how was it? He was like, man, the football field is sick. It's like, David, you're not playing football. He's like, no, but it's sick. The gym is huge. It's like, yeah, but David, you're going to school. The gym is huge. It's like, okay. So I feel like people fall into the trap of like, oh, this one cool thing on a tour. And I also saw there was some stat that like the nicer a food is at a college, the less financial aid they give. So they're letting in more rich kids than they are letting in smart kids, basically.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's really
Which
interesting.
does kind of track, but still. Speak a little bit about registration. That process for someone doing it for the first time.
Registration. I'll say it's one of the most stressful times.
Yeah.
You get like
I wish
2 to
I
3
wish I
weeks.
could say it wasn't.
It's one of the most stressful times, but it's also quite satisfying filling in like all the classes that you need to take and like just checking off like yeah. You know, I enjoy registration.
It can be an exciting experience.
Yeah, it's adrenaline rush. But you know, I will have to say like I would never be like too worried about not getting classes because you're going there. They're gonna make sure you graduate. So
Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about it. You can obviously get ahead in different ways, but just spend some time on it when because at the SPA is like the website where you can see all the courses you're going to need for your major and your foundational and your LAE.
Yeah.
Sometimes just look at it and stare at it.
It's hard for us to really speak on it because both as honor students we got registration before kids in our grade.
Yeah, so it was easier for us.
And I was even like a couple days earlier than you because I was ahead in credits, so it was a breeze for me.
Yeah, we would have it. Yeah, you would have it at like a Tuesday at 4:45, while most of the kids in our grade would have it like Thursday at 7 a.m.
Yeah. So I was like first to the bowl.
Yeah,
and like
both of us really lucked out.
I never needed to worry about finding a class, thankfully.
Yeah, and when you're in SPA, there's certain classes you can realize like, oh, this goes over here. This can fit there.
Is SPA just a Sacred Heart thing?
I think so. Okay. There might be like different.
Your student portal.
Yeah. And I remember there was one class I was looking at, and I was like, oh, this can fit over here, I think. And then I like asked the registrar, I emailed them, was like, could this be moved over here? And they were like, sure. And then they did it, and I realized I had to take 2 less courses than I thought I had to take. So if you just look at it, because it can be very confusing where things can apply different places, and some things will apply for both requirements, but not one requirement. So it's a very complicated process, but at least for us, the registrar has always been there whenever I've had a question, honestly.
Yeah.
They've always been quick to respond. And summer and winter courses are also super helpful.
I would say they're overrated.
Really? Why?
Well, first of all, they don't offer any of my major on winter or summer.
I've never done that.
So,
I only did them for foundation.
Foundations, I was like I already had it handled.
Oh, that's right, because of high school stuff.
And I decided one day, I'm like, and my parents were like, take a winter course, my first winter. And I was like, let me take this intro to ethics course. And I got a fucking B in it, and it destroyed my 4.0. So I was like, God damn it. And I was just like, this was just so stupid. It was a waste of time.
Okay. For your case where your foundation was filled, basically.
Yeah.
That does make sense. I understand where you're coming from. For someone who had to fill all 10 foundational requirements, the doing classes in the summer and winter were huge because I don't want to take a class on coastal ecology for a whole semester, but I'll do it for 3 weeks in the winter.
Look, if I had the option to take winter and summer courses for my major or whatever classes I needed, hell yeah, I would jump on it.
Yeah.
But
And your B is an anomaly because most of the time, every professor I've had, they're walking you through it. It's online. It's during their break too. So they don't want to really teach. They don't want to really grade. Everybody's on the same page where it's just like, let's get through this.
Yeah.
And you're just getting walked through the whole course. Mm-hmm. And you get 3 full credits from it. You don't have to obviously give up a little scratch, but it's a good way to get ahead. And especially you can get rid of requirements that you don't want to have to worry about down the line. Mm-hmm. And those are very easy to add and drop courses. There's been multiple times where the first week I was like, there was one time I just read the syllabus for a course and was like, yeah, nah, I'm not sure.
I will have to say, I think the window is way too short.
I agree with that.
I think we need at least 1 week of actually learning rather than just looking at the syllabus. Like I need to see like the actual content before I make a decision on if I'm dropping or not.
You should be able to listen to one lecture and be like, okay, now I know.
Yeah. And then you get like a withdrawal like withdrawal mark, which like stays with you if you drop it like too late.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think they need to at least extend it by a week, the window.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's a good point.
Yeah.
And so some of the final pieces of advice here. You don't have to do anything. That's one way I'll say it. Like the school stuff, you have to do. But like everything with the college experience, if you don't want to go out and drink, you don't have to go out and drink. If you don't want to party with Felino, you don't have to go out and party with Felino.
Oh my God, dude, the Felino. I can't believe you just dropped that on here.
He's not watching this.
All right, who knows?
Maybe he's a big fan.
Yeah, he's watching everywhere.
But it's obviously you have that new freedom. Just use your freedom responsibly. Because like you said, you develop your own accountability.
Yeah.
So start acting like the person you want to become when you're in college. Because this is where your independence begins, I guess is the way I'll say it.
Wise. Yeah, this is your first shot at adulthood. So set the tone. Set the tone, eh?
It's an adulthood trial run,
Yeah.
basically. They're like, we'll take care of your housing, we'll take care of most of your food, but try to figure everything else out for yourself.
Yeah.
And also taper your expectations. Because some people go into college thinking this is going to be the best 4 years of my life. Mm-hmm. There was one kid who, the year above me, who he loves it here now, but his first semester freshman year, he was coming home every weekend. He could not stand it here. And he thought he was going to have like the time of his life, like when he immediately got to college. And it just wasn't the case. Mm-hmm. So I think you just have to go in, be ready for anything.
Yeah.
Because when you go in, it might not be everything you expect it to be.
I'll say for like finding friends at school, I would like don't be like worried. Like I remember like talking to people and like they were like worried that they're not finding friends. Like people who are starting to go to college now. I'm like, dude, it's gonna take like at least the first semester, at least the first year at most.
Yeah.
To find something, you have to find some people to click with. Like the first couple of weeks, you're gonna find people just to hang out with them. You know.
Yeah.
You're both just gonna be there to hang out with each other, and then you're gonna like start to fall in with people that you really fit with.
Especially when you get into your major courses, you realize like, oh, these are my people. We have common.
You start seeing
here.
people, like you start seeing familiar faces from classes.
Yeah, it's just naturally going to be like, oh, I know you. I remember you. Let's have a chat on the bus. Then all of a sudden you're eating Nashville chicken sandwiches together at Thea's.
Yeah, like, man, how'd that test go for you? You know, just something like that.
And then it blossoms into a beautiful friendship.
Well said.
Yeah, and so yeah, finding friends is weird, but like getting involved is huge. It was obviously different for us because of COVID, but getting involved right away, that's a good way to start things off.
I wasn't involved at all.
Well, neither was I. They didn't. What were we supposed to get involved in freshman year?
Oh, yeah,
it was barely anything in COVID. Yeah,
that's true.
Anything it would be over Zoom, where you're not really connecting with anybody. It can't be like, oh, I saw you on that Zoom meeting. You want to?
Dude, I remember it was so weird because like, remember when we had like the Zoom meetings for honors?
Oh, horrible.
Yeah, I would have like, there would be like times where like people like message me on Zoom like, oh, that's a cool, like, I like, the Frank Ocean tab. Like, oh my God, I love Frank Ocean. I'm like, and he's like, here's my snap. I'm like, did we just really do that on Zoom? Like, it was so weird. And like another time in a breakout room, someone again mentioned the Frank Ocean thing. And he was like, oh yeah. We just like started talking about it. I was like, this is strange, but all right. Like, at least we're making it work.
The snap thing is weird, especially because like, imagine if you just went to class and you had like a Frank Ocean t-shirt on. Then someone was like, hey, here's my number. Be like, that'd be very strange if you're just like, hey, we both like Frank Ocean.
Or like also, remember when like people would like knock on doors or like they'll just like slip like, oh, add me on Snap.
Oh yeah, some people would like write it on their doors too if they had like a little board. Oh, here are our snaps. And then freshman year especially, people would come by door to door, or any new dorm. People come by like, oh hey, we live above you, we live below you, we live there.
At Cabrini, sophomore year, no one really did that.
We also lived at the end of a hall, I feel.
That's true.
Yeah. But I mean, it was nice, but still, it's like, it's very forward.
Yeah.
But yeah, so tape your expectations. It's still school. It's still work. That's what you're there to do. Like, you're supposed to come out of this feeling much more prepared to attack your career, whatever career you want to go into. Which I think both of us can say, we don't feel extremely prepared. No. Hence the master's programs we've been looking at over the last few weeks.
Yes.
And I think more than anything, just be patient. It's a new environment. I'm 2 hours away from home. It's not a radically different place, but still, it's the first time being this far away.
Yeah.
And just be patient with making friends, meeting people, figuring out your classes, the budget, living alone, everything, because it'll all fall in line. I guess I can tell you that. Yeah. It'll all work out somehow. You just got to let it happen and roll with the punches.
Nice. Well said.
Yeah. So patience is a virtue, Mikey.
It is.
You know what else is a virtue?
Oh, God. What is that?
Listening to Brinx, and Hearse.
Hey, all right.
This has been the Brinx, and Hearse podcast. My name has been Ryan McNeill.
Michael Frieri over here.
And we wish you a very Heidi,
signing home.